Ladies and gentlemen, first I have to ask you, did you get your mommy's permission to watch an Asteroid Fight Club peak hurricane season video? Because if not, you should turn this off. Because I don't want to scare anybody, especially anybody in the weather community. It seems like y'all's cages get rattled by worst case scenarios. And so the models are falling in line with what I've said before. And I'm going to say it loudly and clearly now. If Dorian threads the needle between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, it could hit Florida as a Category 2, Category 3, and yes, even a Category 4 storm. We're talking Labor Day weekend. The latest Legacy GFS run pretty much starts out with Hurricane Dorian as Category 2 in September, hitting Florida at the exact spot I drew up for you. Earlier in the year, I had said, in a worst case scenario, we were getting a hurricane here in October, the very middle. And then we're getting a hurricane right about here, maybe even higher, sometime in between the time I said it at the beginning of hurricane season. And so I know Florida is tough, but I will say again, if it looks like it is going to be a Category 3 or higher and you are directly in the pathway, I would get out. And the October storm will be stronger than Michael, so it could carve the coast. I mean, these are the planetary processes that have carved out all of our coasts. And the previous GFS legacy run had Hurricane Dorian moving over Puerto Rico as a tropical storm, then hitting the tip of Florida as a Category 1 hurricane, and then moving into the Gulf, reforming and hitting Alabama and Mississippi as a Category 1, Category 2 hurricane. So we are in peak season of hurricane season. I said season 1 too many times, now 3. It is the thing that I have been talking to y'all about all year long. Due to all the gas giants being on the same side and there being no balance in our solar system, we are in for a very bumpy ride between now and the end of October. So it is about to begin and it's about to get crazy. You better be ready. I hope this paints a pretty good picture for you. This is what we're dealing with. And tropical depression, whatever this is named right now, number 6, is a threat to Nova Scotia, which has almost 1 million people. And this thing has a weird hitch in it. And so these giant storms are returning, reforming, and we'll be hooking up with some of our hurricanes and lows to form Quetzalcoatl storms. Crazy days indeed, my friends. Yeah, it's going to get wild. And I've spent pretty much all year telling y'all that it would get wild this hurricane season. We would get hit by 3 or more hurricanes. We've already been hit by 1, Hurricane Barry. 2 or more hurricanes, I said. And then, look at that, dude. You have like 2 storm fronts that are almost connecting. And so I have warned that the United States possibly getting hit by 2 hurricanes around the same time. We could see a hurricane in the Gulf and threatening the East Coast at the same time. Awkward moment of silence. So I have continued to stay true to you, my fellow Earthlings, because we are all in this together. And nuking a hurricane is not a solution. Although I do appreciate the President of the United States for raising hurricane awareness. He did about a good job in a single sentence as you could have asked for. And so look at all that pink that is in Dorian. Dorian is already a moisture magnet. It is a threat to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. We don't want to just assume that it's going to thread the needle. We will be watching it for any type of rapid intensification. Yeah, there's dust. Yeah, there's dry air. But I believe one of the reasons I have been so amazingly accurate, head and shoulders above almost everyone else, is because I count the planetary pressure and the sun energy in with it all. And so based off the Neptune alignment on the 10th of September and the Eris alignment in the middle of October, with all the gas giants on the same side, we are in for a rough ride. And I'm sorry that science, Madison Avenue, and Wall Street and the street have programmed you to think one way. But economics is war, man. There's no equality in capitalism. We know that. So I put my life on the line for y'all every day to get us to a point where we could work together to deal with these earth weather changes and challenges. And so it is game time. 2 years ago, yesterday, we had Hurricane Harvey. And we've had 6 hurricane strikes in the last 2 years. And no indications that it is going to calm down anytime soon. Well, for 6 more years until Jupiter gets on the other side. Philip Pappen, always yapping about cool weather science stuff. There has been a dramatic shift in the Euro ensemble guidance for Tropical Cyclone Dorian. 36 hours to go. Only 8% had Dorian surviving past Hispaniola. Now the vast majority track Dorian past the Bahamas. Odds are increasing. Dorian may be a threat for the mainland USA. Yes, go ahead and treat it as a threat. And like I said, I marked it here early in the season. Here's the spot, just above Miami. The category will be the variable. Sure, yeah, it could just totally vanish like a fart in the wind, but I wouldn't prepare for that. Charles Lepresky, TD6 may become Tropical Storm Aaron in the coming days. Most likely no problem for England as forecast track is east. That hitch, though. Remember, the models are changing. Models are not perfect. Notice how it just hitches to the left in the latest model. So I would watch this one as well, and it's definitely a threat to Nova Scotia. Thankfully, Cranky Weather Guy's obsessed with it. Moment of silence. Oh, yeah. And so, it's going to be a wild and crazy hurricane season. I want to remind you guys, as your planetary defense commander, my salary and all my bills and stuff, everything depends on y'all's contributions. Everything. It's like you guys fall back and catch me every time. And we are getting into silly season. And so, keep those letters coming in. I'm going to need it. T. Lewison, 5430, Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. If you want to send a contribution for thanks, you can send it to my PayPal. I got a couple ways. I'd really like to thank Josh. You're amazing. You're awesome. Thank you, sir. But yeah, the letters always put a smile on my face. And so a week from now, it is definitely going to be wild. We got like 6 days until this hurricane hits, and then there'll be more on the board. Right now, it is a threat to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Florida. Models say it could be anywhere from a fart in the wind to Category 3 hurricane. You got a lot of dry dust, but minimal wind shear. In any minute now, the sun should start acting extra wild and wacky, and 2 major sunspots should appear within the next week or 2. Watch. I'm good at this. And thank you to the wonderful engineer Irene Quiores for this cool capture of our home star. Dorian continues to look healthy. I mean, Dorian, Florida is now officially in the cone of danger, disaster, watch out. Nathan the Nerd, my track forecast for newly formed Tropical Depression 6. And Nathan's the one who told me there are 1 million people in Nova Scotia. I don't know. I always thought it was like East Alaska. And they just had a bunch of penguins and shit. I haven't gotten to do a lot of travel in the East Coast. Speaking of that, this right here is the storm I've been talking about for months. Months. That is the Neptune opposition threat to the East Coast. We're talking anywhere from New Jersey, Virginia to Boston. It could be up to a Category 3 hurricane. The middle, anywhere from like the 15th of September to the 23rd. I said it would show up at the time on the models. It has shown up. It has continued to show up. And has continued to look like a freaking monster, man. Look at this thing. It has multiple versions, and then it has one right behind it. There's your East Coast hurricane that I pointed out months ago. And you're still going to get a bunch of people going, geoengineering. Even though off planetary alignments, I can pretty much pick a category, I think, and a location and a date for the Eris and Neptune ones. But there it is right there. I mean, that's a pretty big, nasty, rolling off like a giant wet, moist thing. You can roll them back like the last 6 runs, 10 runs even. I've had it as a, see it? As a very special, like, WTF is that? And that is the Neptune hurricane. That is the thing that will be putting anywhere from 70 to 100 million lives in danger come the middle of September. Yes, I'm really that good. There's your bad boy. So we got a lot going on. I'll keep you guys posted. See that? Look at that thing, dude. Look at this. There's the thing. There's your New York Katia hang out with Julian Casablancas, going to Bender, drinking margaritas on rooftops, saving lives. Storm I've been talking about for a long time. I said it would show up on the models. Gave exact range. Yeah, apparently Neptune has a lot to do with shit. Okay, here was the weather instability. We had the March, big March, actually would be over here. The big March winter cane that devastated Nebraska in the middle of America. And then the storm that followed after. And then we've been on the downward calm. And then now we're climbing back up. And so it's just going to start getting really wild again. So by the middle of September into October, it's going to peak in the middle of October. And so, you know, we're seeing like doomsday hail brought to us by Ivan the K. In Madrid, hailstorms causing floods and sweeping away cars. And the only option we have as people is to work together. And we need a new system, dude. We totally need a new system. All right, so everybody, stay cool, be cool, and I will continue to be the best planetary defense commander y'all have ever had. God bless everyone. But yeah, Florida, you're in the cone of uncertainty.